sponsored by Game Time, the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets to sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, or whatever. Their lowest price is guaranteed. That's the Game Time guaranteed. Lions traveling to Houston next week to face the Texans in a big game. Going to a game is much better than being on the couch. So if you want to check it out, go to Game Time. And our friends from Game Time has a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks. And what it does is it filters out all the fluff to give you the best deals on seats. So you don't have to waste your time looking through thousands of different tickets to find the best deal. How do you get the Game Time Picks? Well, simply, you go into Game Time app, you go find it. Go to the event you want to go to. The app then will look in a 3D view. Select the Game Time Picks button on top of the screen and automatically does the research for you. And it filters out the tickets in the database to give you the best deals on the best seats, so you don't spend hours in a bunch of different ticketing sites trying to find the best tickets. You can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, baseball, basketball, concerts, and more. In the middle screenshot, by the way, I think it's a fantastic feature of the app. It shows you where your seat is, and if you move the phone left or right, you can see the surrounding area kind of like a 3D live photo. Also, all pricing is right there for you, so there's no hidden fees at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Do you want a deal? Go to Game Time. Plug in Chat Sports, and you're going to get $20 off your very first purchase. Again, go to Game Time. Go to the redeem code section. Plug in Chat Sports. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Terms to apply. You got to create an account. You got to have an email to save that money. The link is going to be in the comment section and description of this show. So if you're buying Lions this year, make sure you're using Game Time. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets and lowest prices guaranteed. And we are here for the One Pride podcast, talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. Thankfully, the NFL trade deadline is over. We could put that to bed. We could talk about that. We're going to talk about the Houston Texans, Jameson Williams. A lot to get into today's show. Before we do that, though, we got Swift in the building, Sam, Kurt Kasprick, Lisa DeLorenzo, JB Bobuth, Kurt, Angela, Toasted Ghost, Bill Collier. How you doing, man? And again, prayers to you and your family, your daughter. Prayers to her. Tell her I said, what is up? Hopefully she's doing good. Rico Strong, Oxy, Da F, Lisa, Forrest Daniels, all in the building. I appreciate you coming in here, hanging out for today's show. I wanted to go a little bit earlier. Why? Because, well, it's Thursday, and I just wanted to get it out of the way. Also, yesterday I didn't make a video. People asked why. I got hit up by quite a bit. I was extremely tired, and I didn't feel like making it. I was really, you kind of sometimes you just want to get away from the YouTube for a day. So I just took a day away from YouTube to get back to be refreshed. Staying up, watching the election, you're not getting any sleep the next day, having somebody over hanging out with that person for the night. When you wake up the next day, you're just like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So that's kind of what we did. Took a little bit of a day off. I need to refresh. I needed to re-examine the body a little bit, I'll rebuild the body a little bit. So let's go ahead and get into it. As you know, the Detroit Lions made a trade for Zadarius Smith. He will be playing, I'm going to assume, on Sunday here. I know they gave him a couple days off due to a lack of bye week from the trade. So, look, I think he's going to be a nice little piece to the Detroit Lions defensive line. And he is not going to replace Aiden Hutchinson. You cannot replace Hutch. That's not happening. But he's going to help put an individual, to get pressure on the quarterback until Hutch comes back, hopefully for the Super Bowl. But you look a bit under. Oh, I feel great now. It could be just the lighting. So here's the thing. Sometimes the lighting makes you look a little bit different than what it is. But I feel great, man. I feel amazing. I slept so good. It's been good. It could be the lighting though, but yeah. So I think he is going to bring an impact to this team that's going to help him get to a Super Bowl. I do. I don't believe he is. Look, he's not going to be Max Crosby. He's not going to be Myles Garrett, but he's going to be a guy that's going to help us get to a Super Bowl. We just need just a little bit more, for this defensive line, because I do think Hutch returns. I do think he's coming back, maybe even for a championship game. Hashtag for Hutch, 100%. And we'll definitely get to QA and here a little bit. That's intriguing. My stuff there is not pulling up. Let me get this one. Oh, maybe this was a different Texans. Okay, let's do a view there. I don't know why my comments are not showing up on the other page for you guys. But yeah, Mike, did you hear he did a boatload of picks? I did not hear that. Must have. When did you guys hear this? It must have happened right before I went live or prepping to go live. I haven't heard anything on that. I don't know what the picks were. I haven't heard a thing if the Lions offered a lot of picks. You'd assume they would, right? So, of course, they called on it. Why wouldn't they? But, yeah, I didn't hear the exact what it was. So, look, I think he's going to bring an element to this team that's going to be great. Zadarius Smith is here. Jameson Williams returns to the Lions this week and after the suspension. Happy for that. That is great. We got Ifutu Melifonwu returning to practice. We got, I don't know if, did Malcolm Rodriguez return to practice? I believe so. Broderick Martin is getting closer to returning. We got Joshua Pascal returning to practice. The Lions right now are doing great. They're starting to get a little bit healthier. They're starting to go in the right direction halfway through the season. We're going up instead of going down. That's so important. I heard they offered a 6th round pick and a couple others. Okay. Unsubstantiated rumors. Okay. Well, look, here's the deal. Like, if they could have, and it's not going to shock me, but we all heard that the Raiders weren't going to do it, so it's no big deal. So, Lions are getting healthy, starting to get in the right direction, and Emmanuel Mosley, too, returned to practice. So, the Lions are going in the right direction. This is great to do it. That's why we need to get this bye week so big, too. If we can get, because we had a bye week early in the season, week 5. If we can get a bye week, if we get that number 1 seed, we get a bye week, we can rest the players. That's vital. That's extremely important. Get the rest for these guys. Remember, Lions played all the way to the NFC Championship game, so their season was longer. They had an earlier bye week, so it would be nice for them to get another bye week. We got a $5 super chat. Says, Reyes a beast. $5 super chat. Thank you so much for that super chat. God bless you. Says, shout out to the Pride of Detroit for doing the November fundraiser for U of M Cancer Center. Everyone go donate for great cause. Did not know about that. Make sure you donate. Pride of Detroit. We're always about cancer, right? Breast cancer is a big deal. Everybody knows somebody that's dealing with cancer, so I'm always supporting that. So go ahead, absolutely, if they're doing that, go ahead and drop some money for Pride of Detroit to support fight against breast cancer. Because, men, we like breasts, and that's just #facts. Rico Strong says, I think that the Chiefs are trying their hardest to get ready for us. Yeah, 100%. I think they are with those trades. But before we talk about that, we do got to talk about the Houston Texans here. Nico Collins, we're watching this. The wide receiver for Nico Collins, 6'4" guy, stud over there. He has been injured for them, and he potentially could return this week. This is actually a pretty big deal for the Lions here. So we got to know, if Nico Collins doesn't return, you would have to think the Lions are a significant advantage, especially offensively, because if you look, you look at the stats right here on offense, the Lions points per game, they're number 1 in the NFL, and you got the Houston Texans sitting at 17. That's a big deal, right? Lions offense is killing it, right? They're top 10 in every stat. Houston Texans losing Nico Collins, they've really fell off. They have, especially their pass game. It's fallen off. Their total offense has fallen off. It's a big deal if he can't play. And so I checked on it before I went live. Again, I haven't heard anything up to this point. I know he didn't practice yesterday. If anyone has any intel, you go ahead and throw it in the comments. Don't know if he practiced today. What I was hearing from Houston Texans is they're saying if he doesn't practice today, that he's probably not going to play on Sunday. So I don't know. We got a $9.99 super chat from Rico Strong. Thank you for that super chat, Rico Strong. Really do appreciate that, man. Rico Strong is a real one in there, dropping that $9.99 super chat. So we don't know if he's going to play. We'll find out. I'm not worried about Nico. I'm not saying I'm but if he plays, that does change the dynamic of their of our defense and their offense. Just like Diggs went down for the year. Yeah, it's the equivalent of if we lose St. Brown, that changes the offense, right? So they have lost, Diggs. If Nico Collins don't play, it's going to be really difficult. And I know they do a lot of run, but the Lions, they can hold that run down. And a lot of people say, well, they put 95 yards. Josh Jacobs, folks, everybody was running in that game. So, I mean, of course that was going to occur. So, here's the deal. I think that the Lions, I do believe, is going to win this game. The Houston Texans got a good defense. They got a good pass rush, but we got a great offensive line. I think the Lions win the game, but I don't believe it's going to be some easy gimme. The Texans have not played well as of late, but they play better at home. They're 1 of 2 in the last 3 games. We're going to their house. So if Nico Collins doesn't play, though, I think the Lions win the game. Pretty much, I'd have like 42-23 type of game. So what is your prediction in the comments below? If Collins plays, I'll say it's 42-32, something like that. If he doesn't, I'll go 42-23. Either way, I do have the Lions winning this game. Jamo's coming back. Joshua Pascal's coming back. Yeah, we got Zadarius Smith coming in here for the pass rush. The interior of the Lions' defensive line is amazing. The interior of the offensive line of the Houston Texans is butt cheeks. I think Ali McNeil and DJ Reader could have an amazing game. I can see a situation where 5 sacks are given in this game. That's what I got. So we got 31-17. They do have a solid defense, 100%. Yep, and you're not going to hear me badmouth their defense. I like Danielle Hunter. Will Anderson's great. They're good too at play action, really good. So I think that but again, the Lions are just they can kill you and they're a death by 1,000 cuts offensively. You stop us one way, we just go another way. We got Sonic, we got Knuckles, we got the MVP Jared Goff, we got Amon-Ra the Sun God, 30 for 30. I mean, it's just this offense is just on a different level. So it's right now, and two, I do 100% believe, folks, if the Lions win on Sunday, we will win the next 4 games. So we will be 12-1. That is my prediction right now. If the Lions win Sunday, we'll be 12-1, and we're going to massacre the Bears on Thanksgiving. Because you look at this. Trevor Lawrence, first off, I'm hearing that he could be placed on injured reserve. The Colts, they're cheeks. There's no way Joe Flacco and that team's going to beat us. Okay? They're butt cheeks. The Chicago Bears are butt cheeks. You're live on the wrong video. Oh, crap. I'm going to have to go ahead and change everything on this. I didn't know this was the play-by-play one. I got on the wrong one. That's okay. When this is over, I'm just going to change I could just change the title right now. Detroit Lions live. I can't believe I did that. News and rumors. That is hilarious. All right. Didn't even notice that. I will switch it here in a minute. I just redo it. Pull out the old one and get it on there. But yeah, sorry about that, folks. Just go ahead and understand that it will get changed for sure. Let's see, Mike, if we go 12-1, I'll cry. That would be epic. If the Lions go 12-1, would be absolutely crazy. That would be, but look, if you win Sunday, it's very possible. If you win Sunday, it's very possible. And that's the bottom line. And I think it is. Go ahead and throw some comments in there. Well, I'm going to switch this out because apparently I'm doing the wrong stream. So go ahead. That's hilarious that occurred. And I'm going to switch it. I'm switching it right now. Actually, let me go to this next one. We're going to make Caleb eat the turf. I do believe so, that we could make Caleb eat the dirt. 100%. Let me change this. Save it. There we go. Change the title of it. Let me change the the thumbnail. I can't believe I did that. And we are good to go. Let me change everything. Well, the other stuff I really don't need to change. I think Bills are going to be our hardest game. Yeah, I think the Bills could be the hardest game. Well, at least up there. Remember, CMC did return for the 49ers. The 49ers not as good as they were last year, but I do think they'll be better, obviously, when you have him returning. And so I think that will be a hard game. I'm not saying the Lions won't win. I'm just saying it's a difficult game. You got the Vikings. I don't know if that's going to be difficult. Why do I say that? Because that game may not even mean anything for both teams. The Lions may have already locked up the #1 seed at that point. The Vikings may have at that locked up whatever seed they're at. That game, honestly, could be a situation where the Vikings are resting some of their players. The Lions may not rest their players because if they do have the #1 seed, they would lock it up. But that is intriguing to say. Let me get this. I have to delete this one here. There we go. Now we are good to go. Got everything switched there for you. Let me up this so I can see your questions. And we are good here. Okay, so we have Mike. So when you be the earliest you clinch the division, let's see. Let's go ahead and just get this thing started actually right now because I completely screwed up today. And that is okay. It happened. And it is what it is. Today, it is the mailbag segment. We're going to take your questions. I'm going to give you my answers when you go ahead and throw them to me. So in the comments, go and do #Lions, #whatever. I'm going to go ahead and read your questions for the mailbag segment. That's what we are doing for today's show. So get after it for sure. Let's get after it. We got # for Hutch. Who are you most worried about in the NFC? I'm a little bit worried about Commies. Hopefully it's not like 1992. We, the Curse Breakers, 0-3 versus the Redskins. # break the curse. Oh, for the NFC, I think the Washington Commanders does bring an interesting matchup if we were in the playoffs together because they're very mobile. Still, I see that the Lions offense could really decimate their defense. I know they just got Marshawn Lattimore. I still believe the Detroit Lions are a much better team. And again, they would probably have to come here. And remember, the Lions, if they have the #1 seed, folks, if that's what they get, is the #1 seed, if that's what they do, they're going to be facing the worst record of every NFC team. So if you're worried about the Commanders, maybe you probably have to worry you'd think that they would probably make it maybe to an NFC championship game, right? That's even if you would have to. So that's a situation. They're probably going to be the #2 seed. So no matter what, if you were to face the Commanders, it would have to be a championship game, right? Because I do believe they're going to be the #2 seed. And who knows? Maybe Hutch comes back for that game. Maybe Hutch is there for that game, folks. He could be back for an NFC championship game. I believe it's possible. I do. I think it's possible. In the comments right now, what do you think? Do you think that Aiden Hutchinson could be back for the NFC championship game? Y for yes and for no. A shout out to the sponsor before we continue on with the mailbag segment. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time, the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets to sport events, concerts, comedy shows, or whatever. Their lowest price is guaranteed. That's the Game Time guaranteed. Lions traveling to Houston next week to face the Texans in a big game. Going to a game is much better than being on the couch. So if you want to check it out, go to Game Time. And our friends from Game Time has a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks. And what it does is it filters out all the fluff to give you the best deals on seats. So you don't have to waste your time looking through thousands of different tickets to find the best deal. How do you get the Game Time Picks? Well, simply, you go into Game Time app, you go find it. Go to the event you want to go to. The app then will look in a 3D view. Select the Game Time Picks button on top of the screen and automatically does the research for you. And it filters out the tickets in the database to give you the best deals on the best seats so you don't spend hours in a bunch of different ticketing sites trying to find the best tickets. You can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, baseball, basketball, concerts, and more. In the middle screenshot, by the way, I think it's a fantastic feature of the app. It shows you where your seat is, and if you move the phone left or right, you can see the surrounding area kind of like a 3D live photo. Also, all pricing is right there for you, so there's no hidden fees at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Do you want a deal? Go to Game Time. Plug in Chat Sports, and you're going to get $20 off your very first purchase. Again, go to Game Time. Go to the redeem code section. Plug in Chat Sports. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Terms to apply. You got to create an account. You got to have an email to save that money. The link is going to be in the comment section and description of this show. So if you're buying Lions tickets this year, make sure you're using Game Time. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets and lowest prices guaranteed. All right, let's go ahead and continue on the mailbag segment. Again, if you got questions, throw it in the comments right meow. We're going to go ahead and throw this one here. If I miss it, repost it. Hashtag Lions, the Ravens are waving. Defensive end, Yannick Ngakoue. Well, if you're the Detroit Lions, run to right now. If this is the case, we're going to talk about this right now. If the Ravens just release Yannick Ngakoue, the Lions need to go ahead and sign Yannick Ngakoue. That would be a good depth piece for Detroit. He is a guy, I think, that could get after the passer. He is better than the depth that we have right now. We're talking about undrafted free agents out there. Yannick Ngakoue immediately would be an upgrade from what we got. I would say add him immediately, and that would help out the depth 100%. And 100%. I'll take Yannick Ngakoue over James Houston 10 out of 10 times. So if that's the case, hopefully at some point sooner rather than later, we could talk about the Lions making a sign, because that makes sense to me. The Lions need depth at pass rush. He's not a guy that you need right there that's need to place, but we need some depth, and he makes perfect sense for Detroit right now. Scrap the heap. That's the best of the scrap heap. Hey, you turn every rock. You get the best 53-man roster you can. And right now, he is better than some of the pass rushers we got of the team. Might as well make a phone call. It would be vet minimum anyways, right? So might as well. Hashtag, if you guess, when would we be the earliest the Lions could clinch the division? Oof. Clinch the division? I would say probably week 16. I'll say week 16. I can, again, the NFC North is very competitive. And so I can see a situation where Lions, if they win Sunday, they're gonna win. I think 11-1. They'll be 11-1, and at that point it's getting really close. But still, the Vikings are gonna win a bunch of games too. The Packers are gonna win some games. So it's gonna come, and the Bears are done. They're done. So it's gonna come to those. But I say week 16. McBride says, I like this guy. Thank you. Devanilla Gorilla says, preach it. Adam says, when we make it. Kevin says, 100%. They say, thank you. Again, if you got questions, go ahead and throw it in the comments right now. How many games do you think we lose this year? Shoot, I'll go 3. I'm going to just go with 3. I'll say 2 more. But you could see a situation. They maybe lose 1 more. They're that good. They're really that good. But it's still, it's as much as they're that good, every team has a bad game. Every team does. So, and every bad team has a good game. So that's why when I'm like, it's not that I don't think they could win every game. I do. I think they're going to be favored in every game. But it just seems like it, right? But hell, I mean, they're good. So I'll just do that. Mike, would you have liked the Lions go after Chase Young? They didn't go after him last year at the trade deadline. They didn't sign him in free agency. I totally did not expect them to trade for him. So no, I'm not upset because I didn't expect it. Adam White, hashtag Lions, have only 3 days of rest between the Colts and the Bears. How do you think that will change the outcome? Well, not much for us. The Lions will play you anywhere. We'll play you We'll play you on the field. We'll play you outside. We'll play you on a mountain. We'll play you in a damn landfill. We'll play you a game right after we played a game. I don't think it affects this team. This team is built like a juggernaut. I don't think it affects the Lions. It could affect the Bears. Remember, the Lions are home on Thanksgiving, so it's not going to affect the Lions. I only wish that we could have played the Bears in Chicago before Thanksgiving, because then we could have twice of the Honolulu flu. That's the only regret that I have. Let's see. Who do you see us playing when we get to the number 1 seed in the NFC Championship game? You know what? I'm going to go. This is tough. This is tough because I like Washington Commanders. I'm not 100% sold that they're going to go to the championship game. This is tough, man. I don't think the Vikings will. You know what? I'm going to go. It's hard. It's hard. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's the Lions in the NFC and everybody else. That's what it is. You could Seattle Seahawks, they play tough. Maybe they go on a run. The Rams play tough. Maybe they go on a run. The Falcons, they could win their division, right? Maybe it's the Falcons because they're going to win their division. Maybe it is Washington Commanders. They could be the number 2 seed. I don't know, man. It's hard. It's the Lions and everybody else. So I just got an update for Nico Collins. Nico Collins is going to work out on Friday, and then we'll get an update on game time. Just got that update right now by a Texans guy. Just hit me up on here. So this is the update. I asked, is Nico playing Sunday? It says going to work out on Friday, and then a game time decision. So I'm going to say he doesn't play. That to me suggests he doesn't play. Nico Collins. So he's gonna do a little bit. They're probably gonna slowly work him in on Friday. Tomorrow, I suspect he's gonna practice limited fashion. I don't think Nico Collins plays on Sunday because of that. Because I was told yesterday if Nico Collins doesn't full practice on Friday, he is probably not gonna play. So that's just an update right there from what I got. So we'll see tomorrow. If he doesn't, in my opinion, if he's limited, he doesn't play. If he full practice, it is a real game time decision. So we shall see. So I would say less likely he plays on Sunday. 40% chance he plays, 60% chance not. That's what I'm going with right now. Let's continue on with the mailbag. Lions top 5 scoring offense and defense. Thoughts? Yes, it's great. I think that the offense is going to continue this. No doubt about it. The offense is a juggernaut. Defensively, I think they can continue this 100%. Why is that? Kerby Joseph, Yo Life, No Life has been outstanding. You got Brian Branch, outstanding. Two of the best 3 safeties in the NFL are on the Detroit Lions. Carlton Davis is playing out of his mind. He's playing great. Terrion Arnold is playing great. You're not seeing any penalties anymore with Terrion Arnold, folks, are you? Amik Robertson, playing great. Linebackers, Jack Campbell, he's playing at Pro Bowl level right now. Alex Anzalone is. The defensive line interior, they're great. We're getting healthy now, folks. You're starting to see players start to slowly trickle in. Broderick Martin, right? You got John Kaminsky probably for the playoffs. You got Emmanuel Mosley coming back. Yafutu Melifonwu coming back. These are huge developments. Remember, Iffy is big into blitz. He can hit you, folks. He can blitz. He's going to blitz a lot. He's a big part of the Lions, the reason we got to the championship game last year. And he's about to come back. So this is great news. When Hutch went down, we were getting pressures 32% of the time when he went, or before Hutch went down is 32% of the Detroit Lions getting pressure. It went to 37%. After going down, we dropped 5%. And we blitzed a little bit more as well. So the Lions, we adjusted. And is it sustainable? Look, we're going to get beat up a little bit down the road, but they're still great. And I think they are a top 10 defense all the way even without Hutch. This team's good, folks. This team's good. And you got a top 5 special teams in the NFL. So you're talking all 3 phases of this team is balling. And that's why you're 7-1. And that's why we have a chance to go 8-1, 9-1, 10-1, 11-1, right? Like, you have a legit shot. If the Lions win Sunday, they're going to beat the Colts. They're going to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to beat the Chicago Bears. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be epic, folks. Just absolutely epic. Lions, they're going to be on a run. They are. And so I do have the Lions as the number 1 seed in the NFL by the end of the year. That's what it's all about, folks. That's what it's all about. I'm going to go ahead and get off this stream really quick. I do got some stuff going on. I did screw up the stream to start, so I'm going to cut it short because I got to make some adjustments with that. That was my bad, so I do apologize with that. We'll definitely get after it here. Tomorrow we'll get a video up for you. And then Sunday we're going to be live, folks. We're going to be live for Lions and Texans. Play-by-play commentary, going to be absolutely fun and ridiculous. With that said, what I always got to say, you guys, I just got to get this thing ready. Adios.